Welcome to day 8 of 40 days of self-love during Venus retrograde with your girl, J-me Scorpio AF Astrologer. It's all about Taurus rising today. Now, for you guys, this retrograde is going to be really interesting because similar to Libra risings, the planet that's retrograding, Venus, is all about you as a person. You, your physical body, the best way for you to navigate your life, and the energy that you're meant to master in this lifetime. And so it's all about you in the sign about teaching. Leo is about teaching. It's ruled by the sun. It's about illuminating information. It's about learning things in a fun way that ultimately serve and benefit you. So this is the time to reflect on what is it that you're meant to learn about yourself. And particularly in the tone of what will help you to feel more at home within yourself, to feel more confident, inspired, what will help you to feel energized, and what are some ways that you can grow into yourself? What are some things that you have to learn about how you can feel at home and comfortable within yourself and meet your emotional foundational needs and really get a sense of who you are at your core, at your root, so that you can move about in the world that is honest and authentic and genuine to you. That's the energy that you, Taurus risings, are meant to master during this Venus retrograde. This is because Venus is retrograding in your 4th house, which is about your home. It's about who you are. It's about your roots, your emotional foundation, what you need. And so this is about how you can feel at home and really connecting with that part of you. And this is especially true for Taurus risings because Taurus is the most earthy sign. I like to see it as Tauruses are the ones that teach us how to human. And so this is very much about, because Taurus is the most grounded, fixed earth sign, this is really telling you about what it is that you're meant to, like what are some things that you can do to ground yourself in that's easy to maintain, that's logical, that makes sense for you, that ultimately really support you. And this is something that you can get some spotlight on, what you can get some illumination on that you're meant to experience. Now, I'm going to talk about 2 different polarities here because I'm seeing 2 different things show up, and since this is a general reading, I want to be the most inclusive I possibly can. If you want something a little bit more in-depth for yourself, please book a reading with me on my website. One thing, there's a couple of things that I noticed with this placement, which is that Venus is about your value, your sense of self-worth, the things that support you, right? And it's in Leo, which is about what makes you confident. And the thing is, we just had the lunar points shift, so we did have the North Node in Taurus. It's now shifted into Aries, but while it was in Taurus, and this is a generalization for Taurus risings, because the North Node is what you experience in excess and Taurus is about your physical body, this can be where some people have gained some extra weight if you have this placement, if you're predisposed to it. This is also because you have Jupiter here as well. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion. And so if this is something that you've been experiencing and you haven't been feeling great about yourself, this is the time to really practice some self-love, really connect with like what you love about yourself and just how you can feel good about yourself, and reflect on how you interact with yourself day to day in order to ensure that you support this so that you feel at home within yourself, within your body. And this is because Venus, in addition to Taurus, also rules Libra, which is in your 6th house of your day-to-day habits, how you handle conflict, problems, health matters. So if you have been feeling bad about this, think about what are the daily activities that you're doing? What are some things that you can do to bring in more harmony, some more self-love, whether it's discussing things with other people, whether it's changing your diet and creating more harmony. Specifically, wherever you have a Libra in your chart, this is an area where you want to work on harmonizing and rebalancing this area of your life. Libra is often associated with harmony, but the truth is Libra is the scale that measures and weighs the harmony. It's not actually harmony itself, and oftentimes life is just not harmonious. So this is an area where for you, it's very important for you to work on creating this harmony within yourself. And whenever Libra is associated in your chart related to food in some way, such as like if it's in your 6th house of like how you handle your health, for example, or your 2nd house of food. This tells you that it's important to have some balance in the things that you eat, so you have a little bit of everything rather than just like limiting your diet because you want to have a balance of things. That's that energy. So this can be a time that you work through that. And Taurus is an area where we can hang on to things and hoard, which can be emotional, psychological, physical, spiritual. It's also about our history, it's about our roots, things of this nature. And Jupiter ruling Pisces is about letting these things, it's about letting things go. It's about releasing. It's about unconditional love, wisdom, compassion. So if there's anything about you that you're hanging on to, that you are being stubborn about, because Taurus can be really stubborn about, whether it's about your self-worth, whether it's about your physical body, it's about your appearance, it's about how you move about in the world, what you think about yourself, whatever it is that's holding you back, that where you might experience some stubbornness, now is the time to really practice letting that go. And really taking the time to do this by processing your traumas is going to be beneficial, because you do have Sagittarius, which Jupiter also rules in your 8th house of traumas, and Pisces rules your 11th house. And so unsurprisingly, because Taurus is ruled by the Taurus rules money, in your 11th house of financial gains, you also have Pisces here. So which is also about healing. So some of the best ways for you to heal, for you to feel like you have a spiritual connection, is through increasing your financial gains, because this was essentially a way that you are honoring the Taurian energy. So this is something that you could reflect on during this retrograde, because Pisces' modern ruler is Neptune, and Neptune is about financial fluctuations, whereas Venus is about your money. So like some of the things that you can work on in order to develop, to heal from any like issues that you need to work through where you don't feel good about yourself, or where you can experience more joy, more abundance, can be through getting money from your business partners, your spouse's resources, your clients' resources, through financial gains. This can be something that really does help you to develop that sense of abundance right now while Jupiter is here. And doing this in a very collaborative way with your online community is going to be a great way to do this, where you really put yourself in the spotlight when it comes to your profession and in the public eye. And this is because you have Uranus also in Taurus, which is about you, and Uranus rules the internet, and it rules your 10th house of your public reputation, your success, your public image. So putting yourself out there, this is something that's really going to help you. And also kind of a little bit in alignment with Jupiter is about releasing things. So it's about letting go of things that don't serve you, things that you might hoard onto with that Taurus energy. With the full moon coming up in Aquarius on August 1st, this is about releasing things that don't serve you. So anything that doesn't serve you in relation to your profession, to your public reputation, your public status, this is something that you can let this go. And this is also going to help with this energy as well. And by letting this go, this can be something related not just with like your profession, but maybe a challenge that you have with a parent. It could be something that you let go of. And as you do this, you can really work to like activate that Venus energy of that retrograde, and feeling more invigorated, feeling more empowered, feeling more confident about yourself. Now, this can also be a time where, because Taurus is very aesthetically oriented, a great way to use this energy is to look at your home and reevaluate your home environment. Are there some things that you can redecorate? Are there some ways that you can bring in some more, like, I don't know, I felt inclined to say spirituality, but whatever it is that energizes you, whatever that makes you feel good, is this something that you could bring into your space? Like Leo is about the best, so, and it's about royalty. So creating a home environment where you feel like royalty, where you feel like a queen, a king, this is going to be something that really helps you. And the more you have a home that celebrates this, the more you're going to feel better within yourself and how you move about in the world, in your body, and in your day-to-day life, you're going to take a more positive approach, and you're going to experience things with like a more lighthearted, like loving spirit. So this is something that you definitely do want to focus on. Now, there are some other things that I want to mention as well. So like, for example, we just had Mercury move into Virgo, and next month Mercury will be retrograding in Virgo as well. And we also have Mars here, and this is in your 5th house of self-expression. Now I bring this up because right now it's a great time to use your voice. If you've watched my other videos where I talk about the different rising signs and what you can expect during this Venus retrograde and the other transits that are going on, I create different focus. Like for some, it was about body work, somatic healing therapy. For some of it, it was about work focus. For other people, it's about using your body. It's about stretching your spine. It was about healing different parts of yourself. Whereas in this video, I really want to encourage you to focus on your voice. All of these videos recommend something different. So if you haven't watched the other videos, please go ahead and do that. They're all available on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, comment, let me know what resonated with you, what other information that you'd like me to talk about. So, but specifically for Taurus risings, what's great for you is that Taurus rules the throat chakra, and the Venus, your chart ruler, is retrograding in Leo. And Leo is often talked about when it comes to like putting yourself in the spotlight, and there's a lot of emphasis on like big hair and performances and stuff like that, because that's very much the energy of Leo. But it's not just about being seen, it's about being heard. Like this is why Leo rules teachers. People love to hear what Leo people say, things of that nature. Like I have Leo in my 2nd house of how I make money. So when I put myself in things that support me, when I put myself in the spotlight, this very much supports me. People are interested in what I have to say. This is the energy of Leo. And so Leo is also about your voice. It's about expressing yourself. This is really important. And Venus is retrograding here, and Venus is also, it rules Libra, which is an air sign. It's about talking and stuff. So this is very much about speaking up for yourself, expressing the things that matter for you, expressing yourself in a way that makes you feel at home with yourself, feeling confident, feeling inspired in your day-to-day life. Talking in this sort of a way, particularly in like a one-on-one environment, can be something that can be really supportive for you. And because this is all about expressing yourself, taking a look at your 5th house is really useful, because this is where you have Virgo, which is the 2nd sign from Leo. The 2nd sign is always the resources of the previous sign. So what supports Leo is Virgo. Okay, and so this is where you have Mercury here. This is where Mercury is going to be retrograding next month. This is where Mars is. It's about taking action right now. So this is a time where you may want to and feel inclined to like express yourself and to take action. Now, depending on the aspects, basically how the planets interact with each other, this can be really harmonious, and it can inspire you to express yourself in a way where you resolve problems. Or you may just find yourself expressing yourself and being very critical, because wherever Virgo is in your chart, this is an area where you're critical. And so what you focus on, what you criticize, can be the things that you are more outspoken and express yourself on. And this can be about your family, this can be about your resources, this can also be about your hidden fears, this can be about your subconscious, unconscious fears, addictions, psychological downfalls, because Mars is here and it rules your 12th house. Mercury also rules your 2nd house as well, which relates to some of the other stuff I just mentioned. So you may find, I would say, pay attention to the things that you say right now, especially if you're finding yourself to be critical, because this is telling you like these are the things that you are subconsciously, unconsciously kind of like ruminating about. And this is going to come out a lot more now for the next 18 months, because your North Node, which is about what you're meant to experience in excess, is in Aries. which is in your 12th house, which is about those things I just discussed, your subconscious, unconscious fears, addictions, psychological downfalls, stuff like that. So some of the best things to do during this time is to really be aware of what you end up saying and expressing it. Like with other signs, I mentioned writing things down, creating more of like a written entry. But Taurus rising for you, using your voice, talking, looking at yourself in the mirror and discussing these things with yourself and how you can resolve this. What actions can you take to correct these things, to make improvements so that you feel good about yourself? These are going to be things that can be really beneficial for you. There can also be a theme where there can be some changes that you might want to reflect on in your work environment, especially if you do work out of your home. And this is because Leo being ruled by the sun, it's about your career, it's about your success, it's in your 4th house of home. So if you particularly work out of your home and this is related to your career, there's going to be some things to reflect on as far as how this is affecting you, which is your rising sign, and also how this affects your work environment. And look at what is your ideal work environment? Are you offering yourself these things? If you aren't, what are some ways that you could rebalance and allocate your resources to get these needs met? Whether it's delegating, getting rebudgeting, getting yourself some financial support, to kind of see how that looks like for you. This is the time where you can really reflect on that, because the South Node being in Libra in your 6th house, it's emptying out one-on-one partnerships. Like if you have a client-based job, the way that you've been doing things, the things that don't serve you are going to empty out. So the way that you can accelerate your wealth is to look at the opposite sign, which is the North Node, which is in your 12th house, Aries. And Aries is all about doing things differently. It's about being a leader, and the ruler of Aries is in your 5th house of your own business. So particularly if you have your own business, this is something that you can very much focus on right now. And so this could be a time where you can be looking at, how can I do things a little differently? And it might not be obvious, the information might be hidden from you, but pay attention to the things that you say, the things that you criticize, the things that you mention about work, because you might unconsciously just start saying it because of these placements going on right now. And particularly if you have a spiritual based business, this can be a great time to maybe market and connect with people from faraway places. This can be why this can show up with as far as what's being activated. And if you do work with business partners and you are a client-based business, you can also take a look at your 7th house, which is where you have Scorpio here. Scorpio rules Mars, which we've already discussed, and the modern ruler is Pluto, which is in your 9th house of spirituality. And you have your North Node, the fastest way for you to achieve material wealth, in your 12th house, Aries. 12th house is about spirituality. The 9th house is also about spirituality. And the 9th house is also about global marketing as well. So maybe marketing far away, marketing internationally. These are things that can potentially very much support you. So these are just some different ideas that I wanted to share with you as far as your health, your work environment, your home environment. Romantically speaking, honestly, even though Venus retrograde is often associated with romance, it really depends on the area of your chart that gets hit. And this Venus is retrograding in your 1st house of you and your 6th house of your work. It's not really about romance here. If you are romantically involved with someone that you worked with, this might have a little bit more of an activation, because I did mention the 5th house. And so you can go back and listen to the part where I talk about the 5th house. And the 5th house is about romance, love, dating, and your own business. So that is something that can come up, as well as your 7th house clients. If you're married and you are in business with your spouse, this is also, or your long-term partner, this can show up as well. And there can very much be a theme for Taurus risings to work with their partners, because Libra is in your 6th house of work, and Libra is the sign that represents partners. but it really does depend on your chart. So if you do want to get a personalized reading where I break down for you what this looks like for you, again, please go to my website and I'd be happy to offer you a reading. Other than that, I'll see you for the rest of 40 days of self-love during Venus retrograde. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.